We are going to be talking about fractions today and recognizing halves. Here are a lot of different ways you can recognize halves. Okay, do they all have the same denominator? What is a denominator?
Oh, I know. The number of something. Like the denominator is like we said it's like an add-in, but it's like a subtraction, I think. I'm not sure.
Ooh, okay. What is it?
A denominator is the number on the bottom of a fraction.
It's the number on the bottom of the fraction. So I want you to look at something really quick on the board. Okay, my denominator is 2. How many pieces do I have in this?
1.
I have 2.
What?
My denominator is 2. How many pieces do I have in this circle? 2. My denominator on the next one is what?
4.
How many pieces do I have in this circle? 4. My denominator here is 6. I have 6 pieces. Denominator 8. 8 pieces. Are y'all noticing?
Yes.
Okay, now let's look at the numerator. What is the numerator?
The number on the top of a fraction.
The number on top of a fraction. Okay. Okay, so the numerator is the number on top of a fraction. Notice my numerator here is 1. How many pieces of the 2 are shaded? 1. My numerator in this fraction is 2. How many pieces of the 4 are shaded? 2. Okay, the shaded parts are representing my numerator. The total number of parts are representing the denominator. Is everybody with me so far?
Yes.
Okay, a fraction is less than 1/2 if the numerator is less than half of the denominator. What do I mean by that? I mean, for example, if I'm looking at this fraction, if my numerator is less than half of the denominator, first of all, we need to know what the denominator is. What is the denominator in this fraction? 4. Okay, what would be half of 4? 2. Yeah, that's what it's showing. If my fraction is this, now my numerator is less than half of the denominator. Are y'all understanding what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, that means that a fraction is now less than a half because my numerator is less than half of the denominator. Okay? All right, next. A fraction is greater than 1/2 if my numerator is greater than the denominator. So if I had 2/4, what numerator would I need to have to show a fraction greater than 2/4? What would my numerator be? Somebody tell me. 3. So 3/4 would then be greater than 2/4. Right here, they all look different, but they are all equal to half.
Okay.
All of them are showing 1/2, just in different ways, okay? Okay, on this part, I'm showing you the multiplication chart. We briefly, when we talked about this lesson, we briefly talked about how you can use a multiplication chart to help you find equivalent fractions and also with reducing fractions. So if you look, this is showing me 12/24. If I go all the way down here, notice how my fraction is now 1/2.
Yeah.
These are all equivalent fractions. 1/2 is equal to 2/4. 2/4 is equal to 6/12. 6/12 is the same thing as 9/18. Okay, remember? Okay, at this chart, do I see 9/18 on here? Yes, I do. It's right here. 9/18. Look all the way over. Does it simplify to 1/2? Yes. Let's look at that. Here's 10 on top, but what's the denominator?
20.
Okay, so 10/20 is equal to 1/2. 5/10 is right here. Okay, so here are a couple of fractions. We want to know which fractions are not equal to 1/2. So if I were to look back, so we know that this one is equal, so this would not be an answer choice. B, 10/20, which means that 10/25 is not. So this is one of my answers. Do I have any other answers? 25/50.
No.
25/50 is exactly half.
Yes.
What about 50/100? That is exactly half. So my only answer is B on this one. For my chart. Okay, here's a problem to think about. Let's get your whiteboards ready. Anna ordered 2 pizzas for her family. The vegetarian pizza was sliced into 12s.
I don't have a whiteboard.
And the cheese pizza was sliced into 8s. The family ate all but 5 slices of the vegetarian pizza and 4 slices of the cheese pizza. We're going to compare the fractional parts of the 2 pizzas that were not eaten.
What? I'm going to my room and get my whiteboard.
We want to compare the fractional parts of the 2 pizzas that were not eaten. Okay, so that means, what did I have left over?
4
Of-
pizzas and 5.
Of my vegetarian pizza. Okay, I'm going to label. My vegetarian pizza, what was my denominator? How many total pieces of pizza did it have? Yes.
8.
The vegetarian.
I vote 12.
12.
I vote 12.
It says that the vegetarian pizza was sliced into 12ths. So my denominator for the vegetarian pizza should be 12. Okay, how many pieces of vegetarian pizza were left?
5.
5. Okay, so here's my fraction for the vegetarian pizza. Okay, then I'm looking at my cheese pizza. This is vegetarian. This is cheese. Somebody said 8. 8 what? Does 8 go on top or bottom?
Bottom.
Why does it go on the bottom?
Because it's a denominator.
It is the denominator. Okay, now, how many pieces of the cheese were left? 4. Okay, so remember when we talked about the numerator, if it is less than half of the denominator, that means it's smaller than half.
Yeah.
If the numerator is greater than half the denominator, then that means the entire fraction is greater than a half. So let's look at the cheese. We know 4/8 is exactly how much? 1/2. So we're comparing the vegetarian pizza to 1/2. Okay, my denominator here is 12. What is half of 12? 6. Uh-oh, look at my numerator. Is 5 less than 6 or greater than 6?
Yes.
It is less than 6, which means this entire fraction is less than 1/2. So when I compare these 2 fractions, this is what I will show. I know the cheese pizza is exactly 1/2 because in my vegetarian pizza, 5 is my numerator, and that's less than half of 12. That means that 5/12 is less than 1/2. Do we need to do another one?
No, ma'am.
Let's do another one.
These are fun because I get them right.
Okay, I'm just going to give you 2 fractions, not a whole scenario. Okay, we are going to do 7. We'll do 7/12. And we're going to compare it to 5/10. Okay. 7/12 compared to 5/10. Show me on your whiteboards what you think the symbol should be. I see a few. see a lot of different. Okay, put your boards down for just a second. Let's talk about
I
this.
did mine backwards.
First, what does 5/10 go all the way down to? So 5/10 is half.
It's not equal.
Okay, 7/12
It's not half.
is 7/12 half
No.
equal to a half?
Nope.
Okay, what would I have to change in 7/12 to make it equal to 1/2?
6.
Yes, I would need to make the numerator 6. Okay, the numerator would have to be 6 because 6 is exactly 1/2 of 12. Since 7 is greater than 6, what does that mean for this entire fraction 7/12?
It's ruined.
Is 7/12 greater than 1/2 or would it be less than?
Greater than.
It is greater than. Okay, do we need to do one more?
Yes.
I think maybe we should. Okay, let's do 3/8. Write this on your whiteboard. 3/8 compared to 10/20. Show me what you think.
Wait, 10/20ths or 10/30ths?
That's your 2. Good. Yes. Uh-huh. Okay. What I have noticed on a lot of y'all's is this. We know that 10/20ths is equal to what as the lowest fraction it'll go down to? What is 10/20ths equal to? 1/2. Okay. How do we know that 3/8 is less than 1/2? Can somebody explain? Okay. Colton, are you volunteering?
Yes.
Okay. Why is 3/8 less than 1/2?
Because 3 plus 3 is only 6, and that is not 1/2 of 8. If the numerator was a 4 instead of a 3, then they would be equal to, or if you change the denominator to a 6.
Okay, that's a different way of thinking. That's awesome. So what he's saying is he's looking at this numerator and he's doubling it. If it gave me 8, so for example, 4/8 is equal to 1/2. He's looking at this saying, okay, 4 plus 4, if I double it, should give me my denominator, okay, to make a whole. Therefore, 4/8 reduces to 1/2. He's thinking of it differently. Nothing wrong with that. That works 100% of the time. Yes. The way that it was introduced was if the numerator is less than half of the denominator, then it's going to be less than 1/2. Okay? Both ways are correct in thinking. It's just whatever makes more sense in your brain. Okay? All right, that is our very short lesson on halves. You have the rest of class to work on your written practice for lesson 23. I'll pass out your practice page. Numbers 1 through 4 do require you to write an equation before you solve the problem.